Coming up on Unpeeled, this artist has reached the achievement of her wildest dreams.
Get your glasses ready for next week's once-in-a-lifetime Eclipse.
One music organization has gained a new partnership.
And the release of this Rockstar game is being delayed yet again. All that and more Unpeeled starts right now.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Unpeeled. I'm Ilana Epstein.
And I'm Rickie. Now for some news on a recent music awards ceremony.
Taylor Swift won 6 awards at the 2024 iHeartRadio Music Awards in Los Angeles Monday night. This solidifies her lead as the most awarded artist in the show's history with 25 wins. SZA received 4 awards on the night. She took home Song Artist and Album of the Year in the R&B category, as well as Song of the Year across all genres for Kill Bill.
Beyonce received the Innovator Award, which recognizes an artist's impact on popular culture. The night was also filled with many performances from artists like Justin Timberlake, Green Day, and Ludacris. A special duet of Cher's hit song Believe was performed by Cher and Jennifer Hudson. Ilana, we just mentioned Cher. I know that she didn't get at least officially nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame like we talked about on our last show, but she got the Icon Award. How cool.
So cool. And speaking of awards, Beyonce with the Innovator Award. I mean, she is a huge innovator.
Easily.
We're going to talk more about that album later, but so many amazing artists were there. I mean, we had Tate McRae, we had TLC, we had Katy Perry, and Stevie Wonder. I mean, did you get a chance to watch the show?
Unfortunately, I only got to see a few clips of it, but I do know that SZA, yet again, another dominating award show performance. I mean, ever since SOS came out, what was it, like a year and a half ago now? You know, it's been replayed nonstop over and over, and on top of that, I mean, it's been sweeping every single award show that it's been nominated for so far.
It has. I mean, unfortunately, award season is coming to a close, but that album is just amazing. I can confidently say I can listen to every single song on that album. But I mean, so much new music coming out, and there were so many new artists coming to the award show as well. I mean, JoJo Siwa was there, and she was definitely wearing a very interesting outfit in honor of her new era. What did you think?
I mean, that's her kind of outfit, but new music on the way too, so very exciting time for music overall.
Absolutely.
And in more Taylor Swift news, Forbes officially announced that the artist has achieved billionaire status. This makes her the first musician to achieve this solely from her music and performance earnings. Swift's Eras Tour itself also generated around $1 billion off of the first 60 shows alone.
She joins a list of 14 celebrities, including Rihanna, LeBron James, and George Lucas. The upcoming release of her new album, The Tortured Poets Department, is sure to add to this impressive feat. And staying in the music industry, Beyonce released her highly anticipated album Cowboy Carter last Friday. The album comes as a second act to her last album, Renaissance. It's the first country album the artist has ever produced, and it has received rave reviews from the country community. The
track list includes some well-known artists like Miley Cyrus and Post Malone. Beyonce also did a cover of Dolly Parton's hit song Jolene. Cowboy Carter is currently the most streamed album of the year on Spotify, making it the first country album of the year to do so. Ilana, whenever this album was first announced, I wasn't sure if it was going to be more housey like Renaissance or more country style like it is. I mean, she even tapped into some other genres on the album like neo soul and jazz and stuff like that. But what'd you think about it?
I thought it was insane. I was so excited for this album the minute she announced it. I mean, she announced the release of this album during the Super Bowl. She put out 16 Carriages and Texas Hold'em during the Super Bowl. So I was so excited. I have to say, my favorite song is probably Bodyguard, but I'm so happy to see Miley Cyrus, Willie Nelson, and Post Malone on this album. What's your favorite song?
I mean, this is kind of basic, but it's catchy and it's all over the internet for a reason. But Texas Hold'em, I mean, it's a catchy song.
That's not basic. That is not basic.
Okay, well, thank you for backing me up here. But also, not to mention, her as a new black country artist, it's sure to inspire not only new waves of country artists, in the future, but I mean, there's also current black country artists popping up like Kane Brown, the Warren Treaty, so many new artists.
Definitely. She's sure to pave the way for so many new black country artists, and I'm so excited to see what else she does in the future. She's definitely pretty good at marketing.
Definitely. And in other news, Poor Things star Rami Youssef continued to be outspoken on the Israel-Palestine war. He called for a ceasefire in Gaza during his Saturday Night Live monologue.
He discussed the importance of religious freedom and tolerance during this time of the year, with both Ramadan and Easter occurring. Youssef was also seen at the recent Oscars wearing a red pin along with other celebrities in solidarity with the citizens of Gaza. And in other TV news, it might have been April Fool's on Monday, but Pluto TV is not joking around with this new campaign. On April 1st, the streaming service staged a rally to argue that Pluto should be a planet. Pluto TV says, quote, "It has been 18 years since Pluto was demoted, and we think it's time for Pluto to have a vote in its own destiny."
The rally brought many guest speakers, including NASA astronaut Alan Stern, who created the first mission to successfully complete a flyby to Pluto in 2015. This event also featured a special video message from astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. Ilana, this whole thing is just hilarious to me. I mean, they got all these big names to go to the event, and plus, super genius advertising. I mean, if your name is Pluto TV, you got to associate yourself with the former planet somehow, right?
Absolutely. I know we both got a very good laugh out of this. I have to say, it was so funny. Now, I definitely know my science. I paid attention in middle school, high school science, so
Professor
I know.
Epstein over here. Professor
Absolutely
Epstein.
not, but I know that Pluto TV was a dwarf planet, which is why it got demoted, as Pluto TV said. I mean, come on, it's still a planet. I feel like it still deserves to be listed up there with those other planets. I mean, it's definitely interesting, and I'm very proud of the marketing with that one.
Yeah, no, it's one of the OG 9 planets. How are you just gonna, subtract it out of the original 9 just because it's not big enough? I know my dad and I have that discussion all the time, but also, I mean, this event was happening on the UCLA campus, so
they should bring it to Syracuse.
Oh, for sure. I mean, come on, Pluto TV, come to the quad, please.
Right
now. Those students at UCLA must have been going, crazy for this event.
Well, we'd love to see it, definitely.
Yeah. And when we return, we're discussing the solar eclipse passing through Syracuse.
And we'll stay in the 315 to learn about a Black Box Players Cabaret on campus. Sit tight, Unpeelers. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.
They took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back to Unpeeled. Next Monday, April 8th, the solar eclipse will be gracing the sky. Here in Syracuse, we are lucky to be in the path of totality, meaning we will experience total darkness. But here to make sure you aren't left in the dark is Syracuse events reporter Tegan Brostrom.
Thanks, Ilana. Like you said, we will all be in complete darkness for approximately 1 minute and 24.5 seconds on April 8th. And the last time the United States experienced a total solar eclipse was in 2017. I personally was in 6th grade and remember standing out on my school lawn wondering what was even happening. And for those of you who may be feeling the same way, don't worry. Eclipses occur when the sun, moon, and earth all line up. And exactly how they line up determines what kind of eclipse we see. For the solar eclipse, the moon passes between the sun and the earth, blocking the sun and casting a shadow on the earth. And there's a thin line across the United States of cities that will experience complete darkness. And here in Syracuse, that happens to be one of those. Now, when viewing the solar eclipse, special solar eclipse viewing glasses are a must. Here at Syracuse University, the College of Arts and Sciences has you all set. From 1:30 to 4 in the quad, Eclipse Arts and Crafts will be available. You'll be able to rent telescopes, and Eclipse glasses will be provided. But Syracuse University isn't the only one celebrating this eclipse. Brands are launching specialty Eclipse products. Sonic Drive-In launched a blackout slush float, which is a sweet cotton candy and dragon fruit flavor. And during the 4 minutes and 27 seconds that the moon's shadow passes over the United States, you'll be able to order limited edition sun chips. The new flavor, pineapple habanero and black bean spicy Gouda. And with a flavor like that, there is a reason these chips aren't seeing the light of day. Now, the next total solar eclipse won't be until 2044. So grab your friends, grab some glasses, and go and enjoy the darkness. Now, Rickie, how are you feeling for this eclipse?
I'm so excited for the eclipse, but I'm also excited for some Black Box Cabaret because Black voices are often unheard in mainstream theater circles. But here at SU, one organization is striving to remedy that. Broadway reporter Charlene Nomini is here to tell us how SU students are celebrating African Americans in the musical theater industry.
Thanks, Rickie. On Friday, Black Box Players, a student-run theater organization here at SU, hosted their second annual Black Voices Cabaret. This event highlights Black contributions to musical theater and the talents of our very own acting students. We definitely have some celebrities in our midst. Students performed a wide range of material from musicals like Once on This Island and Hadestown, as well as from artists like Whitney Houston. Black Voices Cabaret director Olivia Bush said the event is important to create camaraderie within the Black acting students at the school.
You know, I remember looking up to the Black performers when I was a freshman and being like, oh, I can't wait to be where they are and grow in the way that they have.
Performer Sassy Stevenson mirrored this sentiment.
I think that it's so important that we are Black together. At a PWI, like, it's a little almost isolating sometimes not to have things like this where we celebrate who we are, what we are, and what we will always be, you know?
It seems that for some audience members, Bush's goal of energizing the younger students was achieved.
It's so great, just people that I know and have gotten to know, and I've finally seen them sing their songs, you know, do their craft. It's just so beautiful and like inspiring.
Black Box Players also hosts events like dance workshops and their upcoming Teen Beach movie Shadowcast. From Dolce Vita, this has been Charlene Nomini with CitrusTV's Unpeeled.
Thank you, Charlene. When we return, it seems like there are some more problems with TikTok and the music world.
And the chimpanzees are celebrating Jane Goodall's birthday. Don't worry, Unpeelers, we'll be right back.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Another story about TikTok. Our industry reporter Riley Lucetta is here to tell us about the downfall of Universal Music Group, TikTok's relationship, and the new deal announcement involving Spotify.
Thank you, Rickie. On Thursday, Universal Music Group announced their partnership with Spotify. This relationship stemmed from the demise of the license agreement between TikTok and UMG. Industry news this year cannot get the word TikTok out of its mouth, but back in January, the two companies had a dispute. UMG's mission is to help artists and songwriters attain their greatest creative and commercial potential, and they felt as if TikTok does not align with these values. In the past 5 years, TikTok has been the main source of music discovery for users. Even so, the platform has hindered artists through low royalty payments and the AI policies on the app. Since January, the artist is in contract with UMG have had their music muted on TikTok. Overall, this deal has negatively influenced music promotion, which is why the new partnership with Spotify comes in. Social music is the way of the future. This term entails the way that music is shared. For UMG artists, Spotify has implemented a new way to share teasers for upcoming music drops and more pre-save opportunities. Both of these updates hope to add greater distribution and promotion for new releases. As well, in the deal, Spotify can finally distribute music videos within the United States. Prior to this, they could only create content within overseas countries. This newfound relationship allows Spotify to elevate their platform. In the past, the app struggled with fan engagement, other than the ever-loved Spotify Wrapped. On the other hand, UMG has struggled with promotional devices. So, both companies can now benefit and overall create a fair pay environment for artists. This partnership opens up the door for new ways for artists to craft relationships with fans and to be truly valued for it. I am curious, after this agreement, if more music agencies will pull their music from TikTok and try to mimic the deal with various streaming platforms. Ilana?
Riley, thanks so much. Dr. Jane Goodall's birthday was February 3rd, and she plans to keep celebrating throughout the year in her own special way. Our lifestyle reporter, Sofia Zaninovich, is here to fill us in on the most important message this 90-year-old icon has to share. Sophia, it's so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, can you start by telling our audience, in case they don't know, tell us about Jane Goodall and what her next, phase of life is going to look like.
Yeah, so her 90 years of life have already been filled with so much exciting research, but she hopes to continue this through advocacy and education. For those that don't know, Jane Goodall is known for her work with chimpanzees in Tanzania and also revolutionizing the way we think about the relationship between animals and humans. And with this new decade under her belt, Jane Goodall is just really excited to get out there and talk to the people.
That sounds so amazing. Does Jane have any speaker events coming up maybe?
Yeah, she has this series called Jane Goodall Live, and she's traveling all around the world. She actually had 2 started this week. She had one in Seattle, Washington, and the other one in New York City. And she'll be going to Europe, Australia, Africa, all over the country. And the talks focus on her past as well as the immediate impact that is necessary, she thinks, for change environmentally. And they raise money for the Jane Goodall Institute as well as the Roots and Shoots youth program.
Well, that sounds so amazing. And speaking of changing the world, the environment, is there anything that we can do to help the environment?
Yeah, so environmental issues can be really overwhelming, but Jane calms her audience down by saying to not worry and that without hope, it won't happen. And our conservation effort should be mostly focused on the local areas. So when we focus on the people, animals, and our environment locally, we really make the most change. And I think that the talks focused on the most important things, that little things really do matter because they're the building blocks for greater change.
I absolutely agree. And I hope that, people take this and help the environment. But thank you so much, Sophia. It was so great to have you. And from March Madness to baseball's opening day to Formula One, the world of sports is in full swing. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Peelers.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Sorry for his fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. Oh, I thought you were on my team. Wait,
Welcome back, Unpeelers. The beginning of April is one of the few times each year that almost every single sport is playing. Here to give us an update on everything that's going on is our sports reporter, Nathaniel Cunningham.
Thanks, Ilana. As your co-host Rickie Potts would say, I love talking a little ball, and this week is absolutely filled with it. So with just 90 seconds to break it all down, here we go. First, I have to start with the NCAA. The month of March started with 64 teams competing for a national championship, and now we're down to the final 4. 11-seeded NC State has shocked the world as the first team in history with 14 losses to make it this far in March. And over on the women's side, South Carolina looks to cap off a second consecutive perfect season with a national championship, but the all-time leader in points, Iowa's Caitlin Clark, has hopes of spoiling the Gamecocks' fun. A week ago, the MLB season officially got underway, which means a lot of new faces in different places. New York Yankees outfielder Juan Soto showed out in his newly donned pinstripes, while Angels outfielder Mike Trout smashed some more home runs, showing the world why he's the best player on planet Earth. I'm not done yet, though. The NHL is in its final 2 weeks as teams look to make a push for a playoff spot. Only 7 teams have secured a spot in the postseason, which means there's another 9 up for grabs. The NBA is also in its last few weeks with a ton more basketball left to go, but there's one team that stands above them all, the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum and crew have already secured the top spot in the East as they have an 11-game advantage over the Milwaukee Bucks. Finally, the Formula One season returns after a week off with the Japanese Grand Prix. At the last race, Max Verstappen did not finish the Australian Grand Prix. That marked the first time the Dutchman hadn't finished a race in over 2 years. Now he gets a chance at redemption at a track he's won in the past 2 seasons. Now, Rickie, I know that was a lot, but I heard there were some games that were actually on a little bit of a delay.
You're right, Nate. That was some music to my ears, I'm not going to lie. But a popular video game's release date is set to be moved back once again, and the overall quality of games as a whole may be on the decline. Here to tell us more is our esports reporter beat, Drew Alba. Drew, I have been waiting for this moment for so long, haven't you?
Oh, me too, me too.
Okay, so for those who don't know, why is GTA 6 getting pushed back?
Yeah, so there's a lot of reasons contributing to why GTA 6 is getting pushed so far back. The main contributor is just so gosh darn. This game is so huge. 320 gigabytes is the file size, Rickie. And, compared to GTA 5, which was at just 100 gigabytes, it's clear to see why GTA 6 is continually getting so delayed. It was meant to be released in spring 2025. Instead, now it's meant to be released in fall 2025, and it's knocking on 2026's doorstep. If I had to put money on it, I would say GTA 6 would be released in 2026, almost a year after it was meant to be released.
I mean, hey, I've been waiting for this game for a very long time. I know that.
As we all have, yeah.
Exactly. But, you know, with this delay, are any other games being pushed back, or is anything else like this happening in the gaming world?
Yeah, there's a few games getting pushed back. Crimson Desert, Ark 2, Destiny 2, Final Shape, Rickie Potts Adventureland. There's a lot, just joking with that one, Rickie. But there's a reason why games like that can't be produced. It's because there's just so many bugs and different problems with making games. The main issue is that there's just like, imagine imagine making a game. You get a bug, producers have to make it. The problem is that when it's meant to be released in 2024, a bug arises, and now all of a sudden it's 2025, 2026, and you're seeing this in GTA 6, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate to say the least, but, would it be fair to say that, games are on the decline as a whole?
I would say that's not fair, Rickie. There's a lot of reasons why the perception is that games are in a decline, and I think the main reason isn't necessarily games are in decline. It's because the overall quality has declined, and that's why there's a perception of that.
Definitely, Jewel. I had so much fun with you here today. Thank you so much. And these companies definitely fooled some of their customers this Monday. We'll break it all down when we return.
With the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no.
Welcome back to Unpeeled. Companies went all in with social media pranks on April Fool's Day. This Monday, language learning app Duolingo made up a show called Duolingo on Ice. The company even created a figure skating routine for a song titled Spanish or Vanish.
And Sour Patch Kids also joined the April Fool's fun, stating that they now will be called Sour Patch Adults. Pringles and Olipop worked together and pretended to create a sour cream and onion flavored soda. Ilana, I mean, all these ads have just been absolutely hilarious. I know you and I were looking at the Dunkin' Donuts one where they said, we're not Dunkin' Donuts anymore, we're just donuts.
The Dunkin' Donuts wasn't the only donut shop to do the same thing. Krispy Kreme also posted something that if you bring any item into Krispy Kreme, they will glaze it for you, which I think that's hilarious. And I got a chance to watch the Duolingo video, and it was a whole musical. People fell for it because I know myself, when I see all these, I'm like, that's so true, that's so true. And then like an hour later, I realized the date. So. Yeah. I fall for those pranks. Did you fall for any this year?
Yeah, every year, I always see any like music news site, they always tease like, oh, this artist just announced their new album, this artist has a new single coming out. I know that especially with a guy like Playboi Carti, he like never releases music. Never. So whenever, they release those things on April Fool's Day, everybody's like, oh my goodness, it's happening.
You forget it's April Fool's Day. But no, that always makes me so mad because like I want new music. So like so annoying. But I mean, have you ever, had any pranks for April Fool's Day, done any, participated any, had any done to you?
Yeah, so I think that when I was little, my dad, I don't remember exactly what the prank was, but it was April Fool's Day, obviously, and he woke me up and he said there was like no school that day. And so I almost went back to sleep, and then he walked back in, he was like, I'm just kidding. We'll wake back up, you got school today.
I don't know, I feel like this is a holiday that some people take seriously, some people don't. I don't know if I've ever had any April Fool's Day pranks on me, maybe when I was in like middle school, but no, that's very funny. And look, you made it through school, now you're here. And, college is obviously very different.
Definitely. And one last April Fool's joke that we should mention. The Rainforest Cafe apparently said that they were going to, put a restaurant on top of the Empire State Building. I know that, I have one about 2 hours from where I live. It's a cool restaurant, though.
Yeah, that would have been really awesome to see, but unfortunately, that is all the time we have with you tonight.
Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on our socials at CitrusTV on X and at Unpeeled_Syracuse on Instagram and TikTok. For the last time this semester, I'm Rickie Potts.
And for the last time this semester, I'm Ilana Epstein. We'll see you next Wednesday live at 8 p.m. From all of us here at Unpeeled, have a great night, Syracuse.
Awesome semester.